recall sitting at a small Italian restaurant in downtown Palo Alto just days before my 8th grade graduation. The 5 in my family, along with my dad's dad, sat finishing our meals. While I ate and kicked at my brother under the table, my parents and grandfather spoke, my siblings and I too ignorant or short attention span to care. My mom was rarely stern with me. Unless I had thrown my brother into the pool over a game of wiffle ball, I usually didn't face a mother who was actually angry enough to teach me a lesson. This time was different. Rather than yell at me about the dangers of drowning in hypothermia, my mom took hold of me and shook me on my negligence. "Listen up. Your grandpa is one of the wisest men you will ever meet. Just listen to what he's saying," she reprimanded. It wasn't that I was in trouble, or that I'd even done wrong by acting foolishly at a restaurant. Instead, I was wasting valuable minutes with a man wiser than I had cared to notice. From then on, I cared. It was your 75th birthday, and at the end of the night, speeches were made. We sat in the rather public, private section of an Iranian restaurant in downtown Los Angeles, listening as person by person went up to speak about a man who had influenced many friends and family members. Even my dad, who isn't one for public speaking, went all out with his own spoken rendition of Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. Your wife sang to you, my cousins created a stop-motion film, and our closest family friend Norman made a drunken rant that began with "fuck you all" and concluded with 2 middle fingers. The whole time I sat there, knowing I could, and should, go up and recall that one moment, yet I didn't even stand when they held the mic up for any final toasts. I don't remember what it was you were speaking about that night in the small Italian restaurant, but it might as well have been anything. What I do know and remember is the way you spoke and still speak today. Calm, with your head slightly tilted and your hands clasped together on the table. You never say more than is needed to say, nor do you ever hesitate or stutter. Complete, coherent ideas form in the moment you always take between anyone's question and your answer. And when you respond, it's always something to marvel as well. Regardless of how terrible the news is, how dire the situation is, or how panicked we are, your answers seem to qualm all fears. While you'd rarely be considered an optimist, you're hardly a pessimist either. Whether it's your tone, your words, or a combination of the two, you have a soothing, aloe vera-like effect when you give your 2 cents, and that's often exactly what I've needed. I've turned to you as frequently as possible throughout high school, and it's truly because there is no advice I value higher. That doesn't just go for me, but my mom and dad as well. Like the wake-up call my mom gave me, she remembers calling you after hearing my dad lost his job, and since then she's always known why she sought your help first. This isn't so much a goodbye as much as it is a thank you. Truly one of the biggest draws for me to come to Los Angeles for college is to be close to family, and especially you. I know I will truly treasure the days when I get to meet you for lunch at Annie's, the restaurant you and I love and nobody else even likes, and speak about sports, girls, my studies, or my aspirations. I know regardless of the issue, I can ask you and get exactly the answer I need, even if you don't answer at all, but instead force me to answer it myself. It's hard to put into words exactly what you've done for me, but in all honesty, you've given me perspective on everything I've needed a second set of eyes for, or a new opinion on. At that small Italian restaurant, I missed an opportunity to listen to you, and since then, I've done my best to keep my eyes and ears open for any time you might be speaking. I've learned that beyond my friends and parents or siblings, I have you, and sometimes you're the one who I want to speak to above anybody else. While I missed the chance to say all this at your 75th birthday, I didn't want to pass up this chance to thank you for everything you've already done, and everything I'm sure to rely on you for in the future.
Unless you're live blogging, but you better close the laptop.